made a decision now to write a little bit more heavier. You guys have streamed more towards the metal side of your roots. That was a conscious decision by the band?
Sure. I don't even know that it would be fair to say a decision as much as it's just how the writing happened. You know?
Now, how do you guys write? How is the writing process developed? Do you come with an idea, or do you all sit together in a room, or how do you write best?
Primarily, everyone lives in Seattle. I live in Florida. So typically, any one of the members will have an idea, and they'll record it, and they'll email it to me as an MP3. We also use Dropbox and other file sharing things, and I will import that into Pro Tools, and then I'll just play it, and I'll just sit down and go, okay, and I'll turn my microphone on, and I'll just start coming up with melodies. And if it's something that feels good and natural, then I'll start writing lyrics after. I used to do it the other way around, where I would just keep writing because I thought it was great, and whatever the subject matter was, I would already have lyrics and the melody and everything's kind of there, and then I would show it to the guys, and maybe one guy loved it and the other one said, it's a little busy there, maybe why don't we smooth this out? So when you already have lyrics written to that and phrasings, it's like, now I have to keep with the same topic and theme. How can I say the same thing with half the amount of words and have it deliver the way that I want? So now, for the most part, I will just mumble whatever. It doesn't have to make sense. It doesn't mean anything. I'm just trying to capture the melody and what comes natural. And so I'll record some ideas. I send it to the guys, and most of the time it's a thumbs up. And then I'll get together. Eddie is really great. Everyone is, but Eddie's kind of my first go-to guy when it comes to the vocal melodies. And we'll try to see what needs improving, that kind of thing. There are other times, we'll have ideas, and then when we're playing or touring and we're on the bus together or a hotel room, say, hey, come over to my room, let me show you what I've been working on. And so we'll do it that way. But certainly in the early stages of writing, it's all done through the computer, and it's very efficient. Everyone has their own studios at home to record, and so I'll get something from Scott, then I'll get something from Parker, then Eddie will send me something, and then Michael. So I'm working with all of the members, and then I have my own ideas where I record drums and guitars and vocals, and say, I don't write entire songs that way now, because it's counterproductive to spend so much time on something that I think is great, and then they're like, I like that part, and it's like, do I just say, no, I want it all for me, for my own stuff one day, or do I say, well, this would really be awesome, how can we use this in a new Queensrÿche song? So now I'll just have like a riff or a chorus idea, track that, and send it and say, if you can use it or build around it or incorporate it into something you're working on, great.
It's amazing how technology has changed literally the business model of the way the band, the way you work, the way you're describing, Pro Tools and Dropbox and all the tools you have at your disposal. You don't have to be in the same place at the same time. And to that, social media is a great way that you guys have gotten out there, and you're really good on social media as a band because you all connect with your fans one-on-one. You answer all their questions.
We do.
Talk about how the business model has changed for you as a band in terms of the way that you communicate with the people who purchase your product.
These kinds of bands aren't selling arenas like the good old days that I love and you love. Mm-hmm. And so bands primarily rely on touring and selling merchandise. And because album sales aren't what they used to be, and bands have to rely on touring, how do you get people? I mean, if you don't hear our songs on the radio as much as, either A, ever, or B, not to the degree that it used to be, how do you get people to know about you? And then there's this very personal aspect that's come into play that never did. I mean, music has always been very personal, and it means a lot to different people. But there almost seems to feel it seems like there's a slight bit of entitlement almost by some fans, like, I commented on your thing and you didn't answer me back, And I've had that. Like I've been commenting on all of your posts, and I don't think it's really you that checks. Why don't you answer me? And it's like, I'm the only one that runs my page. If anybody likes or says anything, it is me, but I can't get to everybody all the time. And so there almost seems there's like this personal, like, you owe me because I liked your page, or we're thankful for that. But so social media can be great, and it can be slightly detrimental, because everyone now has an opinion with not much of a filter, if any, and people's feelings get hurt really easily, and it's kind of an interesting time. But we are very active on social media, and I would say that it more positively than negatively resonates with the audience and translates as a positive thing, to where maybe they were on the fence, and then you answer a question they have, and that could have been the turning point for them going, that was awesome, I'm going to go see them. And then that's another ticket sold, and then they say, I want to buy a t-shirt. And people work hard for their money. We don't take that lightly. So when people come to a show, whether it's 200 people, 500 people, or 20,000 or whatever it is, each person to us is valuable. And we do thank them for coming out, supporting live music, spending their hard-earned money on our product. But the records now are more or less a business card to get them to come see you. And I don't make a living on publishing. I don't get me wrong, I've done well for writing songs and selling CDs, but certainly that's not sustainable to earn any kind of a great living. It's just those days are not what they used to be. It's a fine line between being engaging with people and being too accessible. I think that there's a value in not being so accessible 24 hours a day, because then you can't keep up with everyone. And so when you start doing that, then it's like, okay, why isn't he doing it now?
People expect it.
There's an expectation, and I think there's something nice about a little bit of a mystery still. Even me as a fan, if I knew that every time I could go on Bruce Dickinson's Facebook page and ask him a question and he answered me, there's almost a thrill that there's a barrier almost as a fan. It's like a magic trick. You're amazed at the illusion and you want to know the answer, but you don't want to know the answer, because when you find it, it's so simple.
You almost wish you hadn't seen it.
You wish you hadn't seen it. And so sometimes there are those moments where, because it's very few and far between that an artist will engage, it's like, wow, okay, that was awesome.
And for your diehard fans, there's the pledge campaign, the pledgers, where
Sure.
they can donate financially to get access to things that the everyday fan doesn't
Correct.
get.
Yeah, they get first dibs on behind the scenes stuff, or when we release a new song, they were able to hear it first, maybe the day before than anyone else, or even a half a day, but they get to hear it first. And the Pledge Music campaign has been awesome. It's a unique way to engage with the supporters of the band, and offering really unique things that otherwise we don't do. And that was done in support of the launch of the album. Century Media bankrolled the album, so the pledgers didn't fund the album. However, because, as I said, because bands aren't selling records like they used to, you have to find other creative means to generate income. I don't think that's a bad thing. Some people criticize it, but let's face it. I mean, touring is hard work. It's very expensive, and it's no different than offering a deluxe box set or something unique that we're only going to have this for 6 months, or whatever. There's certainly to the fan base of a band like Queensrÿche, it's a little more old school. The majority of them, like me, where you like to collect vinyl, or there's that one-off thing where it's like, I got to have that. because it's probably never going to happen again. And so there is definitely a group that they really dig the novelty, rare, one-off item that's never going to be made again.
Well, it's like you said, everyone has that own personal relationship with music, and to some it means a lot more than others.
Completely.
So, yeah, you wanna possess all that stuff. Your set list, I peeked. Condition Human is the new Queensrÿche album that is out October 2nd. I'm really looking forward to it personally as a fan.
Thanks.
I peeked at the set list. You guys are touring with the Scorpions right now. Wow, that's got to be killer to watch every night, huh?
It doesn't suck.